Filipino history remembers Josefa Llanes Escoda as a symbol of bravery, empowerment, and unwavering devotion. Her notable contributions to women's rights, social welfare, and national development have left a lasting legacy that inspires future generations. The early years of Josefa Llanes Escoda's life set the stage for her extraordinary journey as a visionary leader and social change advocate in the Philippines. She was born on September 20th, 1898, in the Ilocos Norte village of Dingras. Her upbringing was modest but loving, with a strong foundation in Filipino customs and beliefs. Growing up in a household that prioritized education and community service, Escoda developed a strong sense of duty and compassion from an early age. Her parents, Teresa and Justo Llanes, gave her the spiritual support and inspiration to follow her dreams. Their influence helped Escoda develop empathy and awareness of society, which helped her grow into the kind and devoted person she would eventually become. Despite the obstacles of the time, such as women's restricted access to formal education, Escoda showed a strong desire to learn and a strong work ethic. She was an avid learner who eventually made significant contributions to her community as a pioneering teacher. As a result of her work as a teacher, Escoda had personal experience with the uplifting potential of education and its capacity to change people. In his early years, Escoda encountered the socio-economic injustices and inequalities inherent in Philippine society. Her enthusiasm for campaigning and her dedication to promoting the rights and welfare of marginalized groups, especially women and children, were stoked by these encounters. Josefa Llanes Escoda's early experiences served as an inspiration for the development of her unwavering dedication to improving the lives of her fellow Filipinos. She had no idea that her path would make her a symbol of empowerment and optimism for future generations, permanently altering the face of Filipino society. On September 20th, 1898, Josefa Llanes Escoda was born in the small Philippine village of Dingras, which is situated in the northern province of Ilocos Norte. When Escoda was born, Dingras was a mostly agricultural hamlet, distinguished by its verdant surroundings and strong social bonds. As a child in Dingras, Escoda immersed herself in the sights, sounds, and smells of the countryside, immersing herself in the rhythms of rural life. Her parents, Teresa and Justo Llanes, raised her in a poor home and taught her the importance of compassion, honesty, and hard work. The rich cultural legacy of the Ilocano people, who are known for their tenacity, friendliness, and strong sense of community, permeated Escoda's childhood in Dingras. She grew up in her hometown's traditions and rituals from a young age, taking part in neighborhood events, religious ceremonies, and social meetings. Dingras gave Escoda a loving environment that encouraged her intellectual curiosity and quest for knowledge, despite the simplicity of country life. She had a sharp mind and a natural curiosity from an early age, and she gladly absorbed the knowledge that her parents and elders shared with her. Escoda's early years in Dingras prepared her for her subsequent career as a trailblazing teacher, social reformer, and women's rights activist. Her childhood instilled beliefs and teachings that guided her throughout her life, gradually transforming her into the caring, humanitarian, and inspirational figure she would eventually become. Josefa Llanes Escoda's early professional experiences as a teacher and her educational background greatly influenced her journey to become a well-known figure in Filipino history. Despite the obstacles that women in her era encountered when trying to further their education, Escoda's willpower and passion for studying helped her succeed. Escoda pursued her studies with zeal, since she had an insatiable desire for information. She showed resiliency and determination in her pursuit of academic achievement, despite scarce resources and social standards that frequently favored male education. She attended neighborhood schools in Dingras, where she stood out as a gifted and industrious student and achieved academic success. Despite the prevalent gender biases of the time, Escoda took advantage of every chance to increase her knowledge. She was determined to overcome any obstacles because she recognized the transformative power of knowledge. Her persistence in wanting to learn was evidence of her tenacity and will. Escoda began her early career as a teacher after completing her official schooling, a position she liked fully. She used education as a means of inspiring and empowering the next generation, drawing on her own experiences as a student. In addition to teaching academic knowledge, Escoda instilled in her students the ideals of social duty, compassion, and honesty. Escoda was an enthusiastic learner who loved learning outside of the classroom. She argued for increased access to education, especially for underprivileged people, because she understood how important it is as a weapon for social empowerment. Escoda became a change agent through her job as a teacher, setting the stage for her subsequent activism and social reform initiatives. During her formative years as an educator, Escoda refined her leadership abilities and gained a profound comprehension of the obstacles confronting Filipino society. Her classroom experiences subsequently shaped her advocacy efforts, motivating her to support causes such as women's rights, social welfare, and national development. Her educational background and early teaching profession largely shaped Escoda's identity as a visionary leader and social change champion. Her lifelong drive to uplift others and her commitment to education would serve as guiding principles, creating an enduring impression on Philippine history. Teaching had a significant impact on Josefa Llanes Escoda's worldview and viewpoint on society, education, and social responsibility. In addition to teaching academic material, Escoda's duties as a teacher included developing her students' brains and character. She made crucial connections with various learning groups and learned a great deal about the potential and problems that Filipino society faces. One of the main effects of Escoda's teaching experiences was that she developed a deeper appreciation for the role that education plays as a social change agent. She has direct experience with the influence that education can have on people, giving them the know-how and means to escape the vicious cycle of injustice and poverty. This insight increased Escoda's enthusiasm for learning and solidified her resolve to guarantee that every Filipino has access to a high-quality education. Her teaching experiences also made Escoda aware of the pervasive inequalities and injustices in Philippine society. She worked with students from a range of socio-economic backgrounds, many of whom had difficulty accessing opportunities for education. These interactions gave Escoda a clear reminder of the injustices that pervaded Filipino society and strengthened her resolve to push for social change. Escoda's teaching experiences also helped her develop empathy for other people and a sense of social responsibility. She recognized the value of nourishing the heart in addition to the mind. She tried to inculcate in her students the virtues of compassion, honesty, and selflessness through her deeds and modeling. Escoda thought that the purpose of education was to develop people who would make valuable contributions to their communities and society at large, in addition to imparting information. Building dynamic and inclusive communities requires social work and civic participation, two areas in which Josefa Llanes Escoda has emerged as a leader. Civic engagement is defined as people actively participating in community affairs and pursuing social justice. It also entails people taking up various types of advocacy and action to take responsibility for the well-being of their communities. In contrast, social work is a more comprehensive set of professional activities that focuses on improving the well-being of people, families, and communities, as well as addressing social challenges and fostering social change. Escoda's ardent dedication to helping people and bringing about constructive social change introduced her to civic involvement and social work. She was aware of the connections between social justice, community development, and education as a young school teacher. This insight spurred her interest in civic affairs and motivated her to actively participate in programs meant to enhance the quality of life for her fellow Filipinos. Escoda's grassroots approach and active participation in tackling urgent social concerns defined her early attempts at civic engagement and social work. She devoted her life to improving the lives of underprivileged people, fighting for easier access to social services, healthcare, and education. Escoda became a change agent through her advocacy and leadership, encouraging others to take up the cause of social justice and equality with her. Furthermore, Escoda's dedication to social work and civic participation went beyond specific projects to include larger movements and groups that supported social reform. She was instrumental in the founding of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, using the group as a vehicle to encourage community service, leadership training, and civic engagement among young Filipino people. Josefa Llanes Escoda's introduction to civic involvement and social work essentially summed up her unwavering commitment to helping others and changing society for the better. People all throughout the world are still motivated to actively participate in the quest for social justice and the advancement of human rights by her trailblazing efforts. Josefa Llanes Escoda's strong conviction in the equality and intrinsic dignity of every person, regardless of gender, served as the foundation for her activism for social welfare and women's rights. Escoda was a woman who disregarded social norms to pursue leadership positions and education. Thus, she had a first-hand understanding of the obstacles and injustices that Filipino women had to deal with. As Escoda personally saw the injustices and discrimination faced by women in a variety of contexts, her campaign for women's rights started to take shape. In the Philippines, women faced structural obstacles that prevented them from fully participating in society and achieving empowerment, from restricted access to economic and educational possibilities to unfair legal treatment. Escoda understood that resolving these differences was crucial for the country's general growth and advancement, in addition to being a question of justice. Escoda's active participation in the suffrage movement was one of her major contributions to the advocacy for women's rights. She recognized the value of women being involved in politics to defend their rights and have an impact on the way decisions are made. Escoda took part in efforts and campaigns to protect women's voting rights and supported laws that would give them equal voice and representation in politics. Furthermore, Escoda's support for women's rights went beyond politics to include other general social and economic issues that have an impact on women's lives. She supported efforts to increase women's access to economic, medical, and educational possibilities because she understood the critical role these aspects had in promoting women's empowerment and well-being. By means of her campaigning and leadership, Escoda aimed to contest conventional gender roles and conventions that sustained inequity and prejudice towards women. Apart from her strong support for women's rights, Escoda had a strong dedication to advancing social welfare and improving the lives of underprivileged people. She was aware of the connections between social issues and saw that tackling the fundamental causes of injustice, poverty, and inequality was necessary to bring about significant change. Escoda devoted her life to helping those in need and pushed for the establishment of social programs and projects that would enhance the lives of all Filipinos, but notably the most disadvantaged. Ultimately, Josefa Llanes Escoda's unrelenting dedication to justice, equality, and social advancement was what gave rise to her campaign for women's rights and social welfare. She cleared the path for upcoming generations of women to stand up for their rights, follow their dreams, and improve society through her activism and leadership. People all throughout the world are still motivated to work towards a more fair, inclusive, and just society because of her legacy. Josefa Llanes Escoda's visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to developing young women throughout the Philippines are demonstrated by the foundation of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, GSP. With the world at war and uncertain, Escoda realized in 1940 how important it was to give Filipino girls chances for personal development, leadership training, and community service. Escoda envisioned a national organization that would empower Filipino girls to actively participate in nation building while also promoting the virtues of sisterhood, citizenship, and leadership. The organization was inspired by the global Girl Scout movement. She led the formation of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines with this goal in mind, creating the groundwork for what would grow to become one of the most significant youth organizations in the nation. Escoda's leadership played a key role in establishing the GSP's goals and values. She made sure the organization would be a force for good in Filipino society by instilling it with her own principles of honesty, service, and social responsibility. Under her direction, the GSP evolved into a venue where girls could acquire vital life skills, foster their leadership potential, and take part in worthwhile community service initiatives. Furthermore, the GSP's membership standards, which accepted girls from all backgrounds regardless of socio-economic status, religion, or ethnicity, demonstrated Escoda's dedication to tolerance and diversity. The GSP fostered a spirit of camaraderie and solidarity that cut across social barriers by encouraging unity, tolerance, and understanding among Filipino girls through its programs and activities. The establishment of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines served the larger objectives of social advancement and national unity, in addition to giving Filipino girls chances for personal growth and development. Escoda's visionary leadership and pioneering spirit have motivated generations of Girl Scouts to uphold the principles of courage, confidence, and character as they work to make a positive difference in their communities and beyond. Josefa Llanes Escoda showed bravery, resiliency, and compassion in the face of hardship, and she made a substantial contribution to humanitarian efforts during World War II. Escoda's unwavering commitment to assisting others played a crucial role in providing relief and support to those affected by the war as it engulfed the Philippines. Escoda's humanitarian activities were extensive and included a range of programs designed to lessen the suffering of people ensnared in conflict. Her role in creating secret underground networks for relief operations, which functioned to aid prisoners of war, refugees, and other vulnerable groups, is among her most noteworthy accomplishments. Together with other resistance fighters and Filipino patriots, Escoda oversaw the covert distribution of food, medication, and other necessities to those in need. Despite the hazards posed by opposing forces and the possibility of discovery, she boldly directed these missions, exhibiting incredible inventiveness and skill in solving logistical problems and avoiding detection. Furthermore, Escoda's humanitarian activities encompassed more comprehensive programs meant to advance social welfare and national cohesion in addition to emergency relief efforts. She was instrumental in setting up neighborhood-based programs to aid war victims, such as the opening of clinics, soup kitchens, and shelters. In addition to giving individuals in need access to necessary resources, these initiatives helped the Filipino people feel resilient and united in the face of extreme adversity. Her contributions to humanitarian efforts during World War II best demonstrate Escoda's unshakable devotion to upholding the ideals of justice, compassion, and solidarity, as well as her selfless dedication to serving others. She persevered in her conviction that every person has intrinsic dignity and worth, despite the enormous obstacles presented by the war, working non-stop to lessen suffering and create a brighter future for her fellow Filipinos. Her legacy will inspire future generations, serving as a constant reminder of humanity's resilience and compassion in the face of hardship. As a fervent supporter of women's suffrage, Josefa Llanes Escoda saw the value of political empowerment in achieving social justice and gender equality in the Philippines. Escoda's support for women's suffrage stemmed from her conviction that women have a fundamental right to full participation in the political process and the ability to influence the course of their nation. In an era where women's rights were frequently disregarded and marginalized, Escoda fearlessly challenged accepted norms and relentlessly advocated for Filipino women's voting rights. She realized that denying women the ability to vote not only supported gender inequality, but also impeded the advancement of the country as a whole. Escoda took an active part in suffrage activities and campaigns, working with groups and like-minded people to spread the word about the value of women's political engagement. In order to challenge cultural perceptions of women's rights and mobilize support for women's suffrage, she planned advocacy events, public lectures, and rallies. In addition, Escoda taught others the value of women's suffrage by using her position as a reputable teacher and community leader. She emphasized how important it was for women to be involved in social reform, public policy formation, and the advancement of women's and marginalized communities' interests. In addition to her goal of political equality, Escoda's support for women's suffrage was motivated by a larger vision of social transformation and advancement. She was aware that better social justice and gender equality in the Philippines depended on the political empowerment of women. Escoda aimed to overturn the status quo and open the door for a more democratic and inclusive society where everyone, regardless of gender, could actively engage in politics by supporting women's suffrage. Essentially, Josefa Llanes Escoda's support of women's suffrage served as evidence of her steadfast dedication to social justice, gender equality, and democratic ideals. Her actions paved the way for women to eventually receive the right to vote in the Philippines, inspiring subsequent generations of women to advocate for their rights and actively participate in the political process. Knowing that education was a potent instrument for shattering obstacles, encouraging personal development, and advancing gender equality, Josefa Llanes Escoda was an ardent supporter of women's education and empowerment. Escoda dedicated her life to enabling Filipino women to pursue their dreams of becoming fully educated and self-sufficient. Escoda realized that education was a driving force behind social advancement and transformation, in addition to being crucial for personal growth. She felt that society should unleash the talents and potential of half of its people by supporting women's education, which would increase production, innovation, and wealth for everybody. Escoda's support for greater access to education for women was one of her main efforts to advance women's education. She saw the need to remove obstacles that frequently kept females from attending school, such as poverty, cultural standards, and societal expectations. Through her advocacy work, Escoda pushed for laws and initiatives that would increase women's access to higher education and worked to increase public awareness of the need for educating females. Furthermore, Escoda was a fervent supporter of high-quality education that included critical thinking, creativity, and leadership abilities in addition to reading. She believed that education should empower women to challenge gender norms, pursue their dreams, and make significant contributions to society. As a result, she backed efforts aimed at raising the standard of education accessible to women, such as the creation of girls' schools and vocational training facilities, teacher training programs, and curriculum changes. Apart from advocating for formal education, Escoda also supported the creation of initiatives and programs that attempted to improve women's knowledge, abilities, and self-esteem. She supported efforts for entrepreneurship, leadership development, and vocational training programs that gave women the skills and resources they needed to be successful in a variety of sectors. Ultimately, Josefa Llanes Escoda's dedication to achieving gender equality and her unflinching confidence in the transformational potential of education drove her advocacy for women's education and empowerment. Her advocacy work encouraged generations of women to follow their ambitions, defy social norms, and make significant contributions to their communities and the wider world, in addition to increasing educational opportunities for Filipino women. Josefa Llanes Escoda has received many posthumous honors in recognition of her lasting impact and contributions to Filipino society. Notwithstanding her tragic passing, people and organizations all around the country continue to honor, celebrate, and remember Escoda's contributions to the Philippines. The creation of prizes and honors bearing Escoda's name is among the most important posthumous acknowledgments of her accomplishments. A number of civic groups and institutions, in conjunction with the Philippine government, have established prizes, including the Josefa Llanes Escoda Award for Outstanding Women and the Josefa Llanes Escoda Medal of Honor. These honors are given to people who best represent Escoda's leadership, dedication to social welfare, and spirit of service to women's emancipation. In addition, schools, roadways, and other public areas have been named in remembrance of Escoda in honor of her life and accomplishments. These memorials act as enduring reminders of her legacy and encourage the next generation to follow in her bravery, altruism, and commitment to the greater good. Furthermore, commemorative occasions, exhibitions, and educational programs have acknowledged Escoda's accomplishments on a national level. People celebrate her contributions to Philippine history and her long-lasting influence on the country's social, political, and cultural fabric. International recognition of Escoda's legacy extends beyond the boundaries of the Philippines. Her services to the humanitarian efforts during World War II have been honored by organizations and institutions worldwide, and she is recognized as a trailblazing figure in the Girl Scout movement. All things considered, Josefa Llanes Escoda's posthumous acclaim and honors are a testament to her lasting legacy and her enormous influence on Filipino society. Her legacy will continue to inspire and mentor upcoming generations with these tributes, serving as a constant reminder of the transformative power of compassion, leadership, and service. Josefa Llanes Escoda's lasting influence on the country's social, political, and cultural landscape continues to shape the ideals, aspirations, and collective identity of the Philippines. Escoda made a lasting impact on the fabric of Filipino society through her unwavering support of women's rights, social welfare, and national development. Her legacy continues to inspire and mentor future generations. In terms of social welfare, Filipinos' unwavering dedication to helping their communities and uplifting the downtrodden is clear evidence of Escoda's legacy. She laid the foundation for a culture of voluntarism and civic involvement that is still deeply ingrained in Filipino society, with her emphasis on compassion, service, and unity. The humanitarian spirit of Escoda continues to inspire attempts to redress social injustices and advance the welfare of all Filipinos, from community-based organizations to government-led programs. Politically, Escoda's support of women's suffrage cleared the path for increased gender parity and Filipino democracy. Her relentless pursuit of women's voting rights pushed up against long-standing patriarchal conventions and broadened the definition of political participation. Escoda made significant contributions to the advancement of women's rights and representation, and as a result, Filipino women are now engaged participants in politics at all levels. Culturally, the changing story of Filipino women and leadership reflects Escoda's legacy. Escoda cleared the path for women to exercise their agency and individuality by challenging conventional ideas of femininity and shattering gender barriers. She was a trailblazer who defied social expectations. Her example continues to inspire women throughout the Philippines to pursue their passions, confront preconceptions, and strive for excellence in their chosen industries. Furthermore, Escoda's influence encompasses more general ideas of morality, bravery, and social responsibility in addition to her particular advocacy fields. Her steadfast commitment to the common good and her courage in the face of injustice serve as enduring symbols of the principles that bind Filipinos together. Escoda's legacy serves as a solid anchor in a culture where change and uncertainty are commonplace. It directs Filipinos towards a future based on justice, equality, and compassion. In summary, Josefa Llanes Escoda had a significant impact on the history and identity of the Philippines, as evidenced by her ongoing influence on the country's social, political, and cultural scene. Her legacy reminds Filipinos of their ability to effect positive change and create a more equitable and inclusive society for all, acting as a light of hope and inspiration. Josefa Llanes Escoda's ideals and beliefs are still highly relevant in the modern Philippines, acting as beacons of hope for people and organizations working to create a more equitable and better society. Above all, Escoda's steadfast dedication to humanitarianism and social welfare continues to be a pillar of Filipino culture. Escoda's emphasis on compassion, service, and solidarity motivates innumerable people and organizations to actively join in attempts to uplift the marginalized and address urgent social concerns in a country dealing with poverty, inequality, and social injustices. The humanitarian attitude of Escoda penetrates Filipino society, inspiring communal efforts and government-led programs alike to work towards creating a more just and compassionate country. Furthermore, Escoda's support of women's rights continues to influence the conversation in the Philippines today on gender equality and female empowerment. Even with notable advancements in women's rights and representation, issues including patriarchal attitudes, unequal access to opportunity, and gender-based violence still exist. Given this, Escoda's legacy serves as a potent reminder of the necessity to keep pushing for the full realization of women's rights in all domains of life and the continuous fight for gender justice. Furthermore, in a society that is debating problems of accountability, political participation, and governance, Escoda's emphasis on civic engagement and democratic participation is still pertinent. Escoda's support of civic duty and active citizenship is a ray of hope for Filipinos as they work to fortify their democratic institutions and preserve the values of openness, responsibility, and sound governance. Her conviction that common people can bring about constructive change through collective action strikes a profound chord in the modern Philippines, igniting social and political reform movements. Fundamentally, Josefa Llanes Escoda's beliefs and ideals still act as a moral compass for the modern Philippines, pointing people and organizations in the direction of a future based on equality, justice, and solidarity. The legacy of Escoda serves as a constant reminder of the persistence of compassion, bravery, and social duty as Filipinos face today's obstacles and work towards a more prosperous and inclusive future. Future Filipino generations will find solace and direction in the inspirational legacy of Josefa Llanes Escoda, which encourages them to maintain the virtues of bravery, compassion, and service while navigating the difficulties of the contemporary world. Escoda's steadfast dedication to humanitarianism and social welfare is a potent illustration of the good influence that one person can have on the lives of others. Future generations are reminded by her commitment to helping the marginalized and speaking up for the voiceless that even in the midst of hardship, one individual can ignite change and give hope to those in need. Furthermore, Filipino women are still motivated to challenge social norms, follow their aspirations, and fight for gender equality because of Escoda's support of women's rights. Her bravery in opposing deeply ingrained patriarchal ideas inspires women all around the Philippines to claim their rights, demand equality, and pursue excellence in all facets of their lives. Furthermore, Escoda's focus on democratic involvement and civic engagement encourages the next generation to actively participate in determining the course of their nation. Her conviction that common people can bring about constructive change through group action serves as a reminder that democracy is a duty that necessitates active engagement and participation, not just a privilege. Escoda's legacy of service and leadership also emphasizes the value of honesty, modesty, and selflessness in leadership. Her admirable leadership traits serve as a role model for upcoming leaders, providing a reminder that genuine leadership is about elevating the community and serving the greater good rather than self-aggrandizement or personal ambition. In summary, the inspirational legacy of Josefa Llanes Escoda left a lasting impression on the minds and emotions of upcoming Filipino generations. Her life narrative encourages people to work towards a society that is more equitable, inclusive, and compassionate by demonstrating the transformational power of bravery, compassion, and service. The legacy of Escoda serves as a beacon of hope for the future, pointing the way towards a better tomorrow for all Filipinos. Josefa Llanes Escoda had a significant influence on the history, values, and identity of the Philippines, as seen by the celebration of her contributions to Filipino society. Filipinos preserve Escoda's memory and make sure that her outstanding accomplishments are recognized and honored for many years to come by observing a variety of commemorative events. Public memorials and monuments honoring Escoda's memory are an important way to remember him. In order to honor her legacy and be motivated by her example of bravery, compassion, and service, Filipinos can reflect on and find inspiration from these tangible mementos of her life and accomplishments. Additionally, educational projects honoring Escoda's accomplishments include incorporating her story into curricula and instructional resources. Students have a broader grasp of Filipino history, as well as the significance of social justice, women's empowerment, and civic engagement by studying Escoda's life and accomplishments. In addition, yearly celebrations like Josefa Llanes Escoda Day honor Escoda's legacy by providing a chance for Filipinos to consider her accomplishments and renew their dedication to the principles she championed. In order to preserve Escoda's legacy and carry on her work, these commemorations frequently involve rituals, talks, and volunteer work. Escoda's efforts are also honored in literary, musical, and visual arts expressions, among other cultural and artistic forms. Writers and artists are inspired by Escoda's life story to produce works that honor her legacy and spread her message of social responsibility, resiliency, and optimism. The celebration of Josefa Llanes Escoda's contributions to Filipino society generally demonstrates her legacy and enduring influence. Filipinos make sure that Escoda's extraordinary accomplishments are honored and remembered through public memorials, educational programs, yearly observances, and cultural expressions. This encourages subsequent generations to carry on Escoda's work and work towards a better, more just, and more compassionate society. In memory of Josefa Llanes Escoda, honors and scholarships have been established as a moving tribute to her lasting legacy and important contributions to Filipino society. In addition to honoring Escoda's memory, these prizes and scholarships honor people who share her ideals, values, and dedication to social welfare and empowerment. Celebrating and honoring those who have made outstanding contributions to the advancement of women's rights, social justice, and community development is one of the main goals of these awards. These honors, which bear Escoda's name, are emblematic of a dedication to preserving the values of bravery, compassion, and service that Escoda lived by her whole life. Furthermore, scholarships created in Escoda's honor give worthy people, especially women, the chance to pursue advanced study and leadership training. Through these scholarships, we aim to motivate the upcoming Filipino generation to emulate Escoda and cultivate a fresh cohort of leaders committed to enhancing their local communities and the broader society. In addition, the creation of scholarships and honors in Escoda's honor helps to preserve her legacy and ensure that it inspires and mentors upcoming generations. These scholarships and awards honor people who share Escoda's principles and beliefs, preserving her attitude of giving back to the community and inspiring others to pursue greatness and change the world. All things considered, the creation of prizes and scholarships bearing Josefa Llanes Escoda's name is a worthy homage to her extraordinary life and legacy. In keeping with Escoda's enduring legacy, these programs not only pay respect to her life, but also act as a driving force for positive transformation, encouraging people to realize their full potential, follow their passions, and improve society as a whole. Josefa Llanes Escoda broke down barriers, confronted preconceptions, and fought for equal opportunities, all of which helped to encourage women's participation in a variety of sectors. Being a trailblazing character in Filipino history, Escoda actively sought to establish environments that would allow women to flourish and make valuable contributions to society. She recognized the value of women's empowerment. Escoda led by example, encouraging women to pursue careers in a variety of disciplines. Escoda challenged social norms by pursuing leadership positions in lobbying, social work, and education, despite the limited options available to women during that era. She was a highly educated and talented woman. Her accomplishments gave other women hope by showing them that they, too, could follow their dreams and make significant contributions to the industries they selected. Additionally, Escoda pushed for laws and programs that supported women's empowerment and rights by using her position and power. Recognizing that education was essential to maximizing women's potential and extending their possibilities, she campaigned for increased access to education and vocational training. Furthermore, Escoda backed programs that guaranteed equal pay and opportunities for women and worked to remove gender-based discrimination in the workplace. In addition, Escoda recognized the value of women's opinions and viewpoints in influencing society and aggressively promoted their participation in civic and political life. In order to enable women to become change agents and social justice advocates, she urged them to get involved in political campaigns, social movements, and community organizations. Escoda also made a significant contribution to the advancement of female leadership by mentoring, advising, and supporting budding female leaders. She prepared girls and young women to assume leadership roles in a variety of industries by providing them with opportunities to acquire leadership skills, confidence, and a sense of purpose through groups like the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. Overall, Josefa Llanes Escoda's unrelenting dedication to social justice, gender equality, and empowerment defined her role in promoting women's participation in a variety of sectors. She cleared the path for upcoming generations of Filipino women to follow their aspirations, dismantle obstacles, and leave their mark on the world through her activism, leadership, and example. Josefa Llanes Escoda broke down barriers, confronted preconceptions, and fought for equal opportunities, all of which helped to encourage women's participation in a variety of sectors. Being a trailblazing character in Filipino history, Escoda actively sought to establish environments that would allow women to flourish and make valuable contributions to society. She recognized the value of women's empowerment. Escoda led by example, encouraging women to pursue careers in a variety of disciplines. Escoda challenged social norms by pursuing leadership positions in lobbying, social work, and education, despite the limited options available to women during that era. She was a highly educated and talented woman. Her accomplishments gave other women hope by showing them that they too could follow their dreams and make significant contributions to the industries they selected. Additionally, Escoda pushed for laws and programs that supported women's empowerment and rights by using her position and power. Recognizing that education was essential to maximizing women's potential and extending their possibilities, she campaigned for increased access to education and vocational training. Furthermore, Escoda backed programs that guaranteed equal pay and opportunities for women and worked to remove gender-based discrimination in the workplace. In addition, Escoda recognized the value of women's opinions and viewpoints in influencing society and aggressively promoted their participation in civic and political life. In order to enable women to become change agents and social justice advocates, she urged them to get involved in political campaigns, social movements, and community organizations. Escoda also made a significant contribution to the advancement of female leadership by mentoring, advising, and supporting budding female leaders. She prepared girls and young women to assume leadership roles in a variety of industries by providing them with opportunities to acquire leadership skills, confidence, and a sense of purpose through groups like the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. Overall, Josefa Llanes Escoda's unrelenting dedication to social justice, gender equality, and empowerment defined her role in promoting women's participation in a variety of sectors. She cleared the path for upcoming generations of Filipino women to follow their aspirations, dismantle obstacles, and leave their mark on the world through her activism, leadership, and example. Josefa Llanes Escoda made numerous, significant contributions to Filipino society across a wide range of industries, making a lasting impression on the history and identity of the country. As a trailblazing teacher, social reformer, and supporter of women's rights, Escoda was instrumental in influencing Philippine history and furthering the goals of social justice and female emancipation. Escoda's unwavering support of women's rights and empowerment is among her greatest accomplishments. During a period when women encountered considerable obstacles in their pursuit of education, careers, and political engagement, Escoda surfaced as a proponent of gender parity, striving to enhance prospects for females and subvert conventional gender norms. She cleared the path for upcoming generations of Filipino women to stand up for their rights, follow their dreams, and make significant contributions to society through her advocacy and leadership. Furthermore, Escoda established an enduring legacy of kindness, service, and unity through her commitment to social welfare and humanitarianism. Countless people and organizations were motivated to take up the battle against poverty, inequality, and injustice by her dedication to elevating the disenfranchised and campaigning for the benefit of others. She gave evidence of the transforming potential of kindness, empathy, and group effort in creating a society that is more compassionate and just. Escoda's involvement in the founding of the Girl Scouts of the Philippines further demonstrated her dedication to youth empowerment and leadership development. She instilled in girls the principles of honesty, courage, and service to others by giving them chances for personal growth, leadership development, and community service. This prepared them to become future leaders and change-makers in their communities and beyond. All things considered, Josefa Llanes Escoda made numerous long-lasting contributions to Filipino civilization. She was a trailblazer and a visionary leader who motivated generations of Filipinos to pursue greatness, embrace social justice and compassion, and seek to create a better and more equal future for everyone. Her legacy acts as a constant reminder of the ability to alter the world for the better through bravery, compassion, and service. Given how thoroughly her life's work resonates with the ideals, goals, and issues facing modern Filipino society, Escoda's continuing influence and relevance in creating the country are unquestionable. Her steadfast dedication to social justice, gender equality, and humanitarianism defines Escoda's legacy. Her trailblazing work in advancing social welfare, women's rights, and youth empowerment paved the way for important developments in these fields and influenced the course of Philippine history and society. In addition, the values of compassion, bravery, and service embodied by Escoda provide direction for people and organizations attempting to tackle the urgent social, political, and economic issues confronting the country at large. Escoda's example serves as a reminder to Filipinos of the value of standing up for what is right, supporting the marginalized, and striving towards a more just and equitable society in a nation characterized by inequality, poverty, and corruption. Furthermore, Escoda's significance goes beyond the particular causes she supports to include more general principles of civic duty, leadership, and honesty. A source of inspiration and hope, Escoda's legacy encourages Filipinos to actively participate in forming the destiny of their nation and preserving the values of democracy and good government, particularly at a time when the country is struggling with challenges of accountability, governance, and democratic engagement. Josefa Llanes Escoda's unrelenting dedication to social justice, empowerment, and devotion to others is essentially what accounts for her enduring legacy and significance in building the Filipino country. Her legacy has left an enduring impression on the collective consciousness of the Filipino people, pointing them in the direction of a future based on equality, compassion, and solidarity. Her life's work continues to inspire and empower people to make a good difference in their communities and society at large. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. The best protection any woman can have is courage. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mahatma Gandhi. What drives a person to stand against societal norms and fight for equality? How does one woman's courage transform a nation's history? Why do we still remember Josefa Llanes Escoda today? Join us as we explore the remarkable journey of a woman whose unwavering dedication to justice, education, and empowerment left an indelible mark on Filipino society. Josefa Llanes Escoda's story is not just a tale of the past, it's a lesson for the present and future. Her life teaches us that bravery, compassion, and a commitment to justice can create lasting change. Let her legacy inspire you to stand up for what is right, to empower those around you, and to make a difference in your community. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and spread the word about Josefa Llanes Escoda's incredible legacy.